turning the page. Today's a new chapter. Write your plot and make it end with the win. Give it all you got. But first you gotta rise, look alert and alive. Get the dirt from your eyes and work for the prize. It's on, cause we ain't even trying to lose. Let's go, man, don't hit snooze. It's time to wake up. 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 Tick tock, tick, come on. Tick tock, tick, let's go. Tick tock, tick, come on. Tick tock, tick. You can't wait around for someone's approval. Now is the moment to begin your renewal, man. Feel alive with the vibe, energized with the folks who you're coming by the white in your eyes. Hey, another day might waste away. Come on, let's get it going, don't make delays. So ring the alarm and lift your arm high. Like Georgia, we can get a piece of the pie. Begin it with the step, you'll get in it in a sec. You'll be winning like you never did it when you overslept. So right this minute, get right with it. What time is it? It's time to wake up.
Good morning, Birmingham. This is a this is a regular meeting of the Birmingham City Council. Today is Tuesday, July 9th. This morning, our invocation will be delivered by Minister Pedro Horton by Faith Believers Assembly Church, and the Pledge of Allegiance will be initiated by myself. Thank you. If you're willing and able, please stand.
Good morning, council. All hearts and minds on God. Dear Heavenly Father, as I come this morning praying for this council meeting, Lord, I ask and pray that you give this meeting of the minds which are gathered here this morning, Lord, wisdom, insight, and understanding into the true nature of things as they, Lord, conduct business and handle the affairs, everyday affairs, that will affect Birmingham and its citizens, black, white, old, young, and alike. Also, Father, I pray this morning for peace, Lord. And also, Lord, I pray that respect will take place and that we must understand that there is a head this morning and we must respect the authority of that head. And anything with two heads is a monster. And Lord, we do not want a monstrous behavior to take place here today. Also, Father, I ask and pray right now in the mighty name of Jesus, as these affairs are conducted, Lord, that they will truly benefit each and every one of us this day. And it's in Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Good morning, Mr. Clerk. Could we please have the roll call?
Councilmember Abbott,
Present.
Councilmember Clark, Councilmember Moore.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. Councilmember Smitherman. Good morning. Good morning. Councilmember Tate. Good morning. Councilmember Williams. Councilmember Woods. Good morning. Council President Pro Tem Alexander. Council President O'Quinn.
Good morning.
Councilmember Williams.
Councilors, before you, we have the minutes of the May 7th, 14th, 21st, and 28th of 2024. If there are no additions or corrections, we'll consider a motion to approve those minutes as written.
I'll move for approval.
Second.
All right. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay.
All right, those minutes are approved. The minutes are not ready from the June 4th, 2024 through July 2nd, 2024 meetings. At this time, we'll have communications from Mayor Woodfin.
Mr. President, good morning. Good morning to the entire council, and as well as good morning to the public. It's good to see everyone this morning. Mr. President, council, a few notes. One is this Thursday, under District 6, there will be a town hall meeting for the residents who live in District 6. Counselor, I do see some of your residents from Woodland Park here today. I'm going to talk to them in a minute. But this Thursday, July 11th at 6 p.m., This town hall meeting will take place in the Fellowship Hall of 6th Avenue Baptist Church, and that address is 1101 Martin Luther King Jr. Drive. We want to encourage the residents who live in District 6 to come out and receive important updates, as well as bring their questions and concerns and issues to this town hall meeting so we can have a conversation as well as address those issues and provide things that we're doing and need to do in District 6. And co-hosting this with Councilor Crystal Smitherman, who represents the district, and look forward to our time this Thursday. This Friday, July 12th, will be Mental Health Awareness Day at City Hall. Again, it's this Friday, July 12th, Mental Health Awareness Day. The City of Birmingham will join community partners to present Mental Health Awareness Day. Take place right here at Lynn Park from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. There will be mental health experts, food trucks, and music, as well as those participating can get free depression screening and other things of that nature related to various vendors who deal in mental health awareness. Members of the UAB football team will also be present around 12:30, and I want to encourage citizens who are listening to this to visit nurturebeham.com. That's NURTUREBHAM.com to learn more about the Mental Health Awareness Day this Friday at City Hall. City of Birmingham Community Arts grant applicants are being sought. So just to share a little bit more detail, the City of Birmingham's Community Arts Grant Program will once again support 4 community arts collaborations with grants of $10,000 each. Projects are solicited that will use the arts to address an issue impacting the City of Birmingham. The applications are due by 11:59 p.m. on August 16th. You can learn more about this program as well as this grant application process at createbirmingham.org. Again, that's createbirmingham.org. At this time, I would like to ask Tawana Cox-Williams, who is the president of the Woodlawn High School Alumni Association. And that's Big Woodlawn, not the little. As well as all the other alumni in the chamber to join me at the podium. As Ms. Cox-Williams and the other Big Woodlawn family come up, July 7th through the 14th is Woodlawn High School Alumni Week in Birmingham. Thousands of colonels from across the country are gathering all week long for the largest alumni event in the city. Probably going to get beat up for that. The inaugural Woodlawn High School Alumni Picnic took place in July 2016. It expanded the next year to a 3-day celebration and eventually grew into a full week of festivities, establishing Woodlawn High School as a trendsetter in alumni engagement among Birmingham high schools. And so in honor of this wonderful tradition, I want to read a proclamation in part, then pass it over to Madam President. And it states, whereas the Woodlawn High School alumni have exemplified remarkable dedication and commitment to their alma mater and the Woodlawn community, organizing the largest alumni event in the city of Birmingham, known for its mission to party with a purpose, and whereas through their efforts, the Woodlawn alumni have awarded scholarships to deserving students, generously donated to various schools, school auxiliaries, provided lunches for faculty and staff, and supplied necessary equipment for the sports teams and band. And whereas the establishment of Alumni Week at Woodlawn High School has not only strengthened the bond among alumni, but also significantly contributed to the betterment of the school community, demonstrating the profound impact of alumni involvement and philanthropy. Now, therefore, I, Randall L. Woodfin, Mayor of the City of Birmingham, along with the Birmingham City Council, do hereby recognize and honor Woodlawn High School alumni for their unwavering dedication and invaluable contributions to the Woodlawn community. Their tireless efforts have significantly enhanced the lives of students and staff and have strengthened the bonds within our city. And now, Madam President, I'm going to get out of the way or I get DDT by one of your Woodlawn colonels.
Good morning. As he stated, I'm Tia Wanda Cox Williams, president of the Woodlawn Alumni Association. We're a nonprofit organization, and we partner with a purpose. And our main goal is just to give back to the school and the community to help make them all better. And thank you all for having us this morning.
Thank you. Councilor Moore.
Yeah, look, I just wanted to say I'm excited about this great celebration that's about to take place this week. I don't know, like the Woodlawn Alumni Association is really like family to me. I see a lot of familiar faces up here. One of the first people that I met when I moved into this neighborhood of Woodlawn was Mr. Arnold King, back when he had dreads. And you know, he was somebody that, you know, really helped me to get acclimated to the neighborhood, made me feel welcome, you know, in Woodlawn. And I think that's something that, you know, this alumni association does very well. You know, you got folks like Miss Arquetta, Miss Taylor, Miss Maisha, right? Big one, not the little one. You know, folks come to this you know, alumni associate or this alumni event and, you know, have a really good time. And so I'm looking forward to it being a beautiful, beautiful celebration of not only, you know, just what you all have been able to achieve, but what you continue to do in our community and for our young people. So thank you.
Yeah, I would just like to reiterate Councilor Moore's comments. Thank you guys for what you're doing for the students at Woodlawn. As a parent of a current Woodlawn student, I really appreciate it. And it's always exciting. You don't even have to know the date, but you're driving through Woodlawn one day and all of a sudden you're like, whoa, where did all these people come from? So it's amazing. It's been amazing to see that. Thank you for all the work that you guys do.
All right, Big Woodlawn. See y'all this week. So, Mr. President and Council, I have two more notes. One is about, a lot has been talked about in the last few days about crime stats in the first half of the year. But that's particularly only around one crime, and that's homicides. And so I do want to bring to light and share with you all in the public, and I'll provide this information via email as well to you, that there are other crime categories and citywide. There's rape, there's robbery, there's aggravated assault, there's burglary, there's auto theft, and then there's theft. And related to all these Part 1 crimes, with the exception of, well, let me just say it, year to date, July 1 of 2024 compared to July 1 of 2023, rape is down in our city 26.3%. Robbery is down 16.2%. Aggravated assaults are down 11.9%. And theft is down 7.6%. And auto theft is down 0.6%. However, burglary is up 4.7%. And so again, I think it's important to talk about crime holistically, not just in isolation of homicides, that things the police can control for and predict related to other crimes against persons, as well as other crimes against properties. There's a significant decrease in the first half of this year compared to where we were at the same time at the beginning of the first half of the year of 2023. That comes from a lot of different things, active policing as well as community engagement, but as well as our court system assisting us in some of the arrests we're making and making sure there are stiffer bonds as well as restrictions for those who have been arrested and do get out. We do got to continue the effort you and I have talked about several times related to property crimes, particularly theft. We do see that the court system is still allowing people to just assign out And we have noticed, particularly with auto theft, the increase in auto theft has come from the catch and release. So we have to continue to engage the court system, as well as maybe have to go to Montgomery and talk about what does it look like for judges to have more leeway and discretion related to the bond schedule, particularly with property crimes in our city. This is not isolated to Birmingham. When I talk to mayors in other cities, mid and large size in the state, the catch and release, the bond schedule related, particularly to property crimes, any spike in there is related to that revolving door, which that's not the responsibility of the police, the mayor, or the city council. And that former judicial branch of government, they need the permission or laws change in Montgomery at the state legislative level, signed by the governor. So I think we should continue to have that conversation because it impacts us related to property crimes. When you break that down in various parts of town, certain parts have seen an increase, but when we've dug deep into it, we see the same people repeating the same offenses. But the judge's hands are tied related to the bond schedule because the law is what it is and they can't do more. And property crimes are treated differently than crimes against persons. So I wanted to bring you that context and let you know overall, with the exception of homicides, with the exception of burglary at 4.7, all other Part 1 crimes are down year to date, first half of the year of 2024 compared to 2023. And again, I'll be sure to share that information with you in writing as well. There is something else that's extremely important. We will continue to communicate this, if need be daily, but at minimum weekly, about the Safer Streets initiative that we're piloting in the Eastlake neighborhood. I think I've spoken with you and I, Mr. President, because you represent this neighborhood. I think we took a ride in 22 or 23. What's your staff? When did we take a ride in Eastlake? 2022 or 2023?
I believe that was last year.
So the Safe Streets initiative, I want to talk to you all about in detail. I want to talk to the public about as well. What we've done is start a community conversation, actually a neighborhood conversation with the residents of Eastlake. And I do want to make a distinction because a lot of people do not know this. Eastlake is a community made up of several neighborhoods. So this pilot program does not include the neighborhood South Eastlake. It does not include the neighborhood North Eastlake. It does not include Wyoma. It is only isolated to one neighborhood within this community, and that is Eastlake. But the neighborhood conversation started as early as April, where there was significant residential engagement via knocking on doors, not once, not twice, but several times. Significant and continuation of going to neighborhood meetings, as well as having an isolated town hall meeting just for this topic, where I believe over 60 residents showed up, but we literally put a door hanger on every door in that neighborhood for residents to know about that town hall meeting. We then went back with more information that for those who either attended neighborhood meeting, for those we either talked to at their door, or for those who we spoke with at the town hall meeting where ample information was provided. They had a QR code on this door hanger that we left at every door in Eastlake to know about this program, the why, the when, the where, and the how. So I want to start off by saying there has been over communication, intentional communication related to this program, where we needed, one, buy-in, two, feedback, concerns, issues, questions, either addressed and or answered, or ability to respond to. And three, permission, right? This is a single family neighborhood, which is very different from public housing. So you can't do nothing to someone. You want to do it with them. You want to do it in coordination with them. And this is a heavy lift, and this is an actual different form of how we do community engagement. And so with well over 500 doors knocked, we actually got a chance to, in the combination of everything, well, not the combination of everything, just at doors alone, talk to well over 300 residents. And 90% of those residents said Yes, do this. Yes, try this. Yes, try something differently. Yes, we support this. It's either going to work or not work. So, getting into the detail of what it is. Well, actually getting into the detail of why first. Criminal activity in the neighborhood is a lot of things. It's not just one thing. In this particular neighborhood, what we found with our own eyesight, not just feedback from residents, but what we saw on the ground with our own eyes, was significant illegal dumping, particularly in the alleys. So I'll give you an example of, in April, we saw illegal dumping. We would go clean it up. It would be back on the ground within 72 hours. In May, we cleaned it up again. Pick it up, it's back on the ground. June, back on the ground. Clean it up, it's back. So back to the point where I've instructed Public Works to start taking before and after pictures just on Division Avenue alley alone yesterday. Just yesterday. 7 trucks were hauled off of illegal dumping. 7. That's just Division. That's not first south, second south, third south, on and on. That's just on Division, illegal dumping in the alley. We also, with our own eyes, and we've talked about this at the neighborhood meetings, at the town hall meetings, and at doors, you see day walkers, street walkers, prostitution. Pretty unapologetic about it, unabashful about it, broad daylight. And we've had stings, we've had undercovers, we've arrested Johns, we've arrested prostitutes, and the activity continues. And with your own eyes, you can see the dope houses, you see the trap houses. The team has been on the ground enough to witness people walk up, people drive up certain streets, certain neighborhoods, certain houses. I'll leave the addresses off public line. We've shared that information with BPD. There's a full operation going there as well, separate from this. And then with even our traffic calming efforts on 2nd Avenue South, which will remain open as a major thoroughfare, from the residents' complaints and with our own eyes, continue just running, speeding through a residential area. So even the traffic enforcement team last week literally did over 50 citations. In one day, I know they did 43 to be exact, of just running 2 stop signs. And that was over just a couple hours. And then the most glaring thing, which I don't want to miss, because we talk about gun violence and we usually isolate it only to homicide, but gun violence comes in multiple forms. Yes, it comes in the form of a homicide, but it also comes in the form of a felony assault, where a victim is shot and survived. And then it comes in the form of what we call drive-bys, and then it comes in 2 other forms: shooting into occupied dwellings and shooting into occupied vehicles. The most glaring in this neighborhood is shooting into occupied dwellings, where people have over 40 ways to easily drive into this historic neighborhood, shoot at a house, and drive out. By the time we respond, person is long gone. But we know they're shooting because of our shot spotter. So I've been withholding this information, but I think it's worth sharing because there's conversation about why are we doing this. And ShotSpotter detected in 2023 just the neighborhood Eastlake, not the Eastlake community, just the neighborhood Eastlake, 2,164 shots. One neighborhood. I just want to say that out loud again. 2,164 shots in 2023. In a calendar year, 365 days, ShotSpotter detected that many shots in one neighborhood out of 99. That's unacceptable. So, we will continue our aggressive policing citywide. We will continue to partner with the alphabets, DEA, ATF, FBI, the U.S. Attorney on various drug-affiliated activity, criminal activity. We'll continue to focus on gun violence citywide. And we'll continue to do all these various things, prevention efforts, reentry efforts. But Safer Streets is a pilot program that we will do over 90 to a max 100-day window to see in a concentrated area, every single crime I just named, can we decrease and can we track that information? Can we decrease the illegal dumping and the littering in one neighborhood? Can we decrease the prostitution? Can we dry out the trap houses and the drug houses? Can we stop the drive-ups and the walk-ups to purchase drugs? In the same neighborhood, can we clean it up? Can we address and fix all the potholes in the alleys? Can we aggressively remove all the blight, which there's a lot on Division, first and second. It gets better as you go up into the neighborhood. And mainly, can we decrease and or stop people from being able to freely drive in a neighborhood, shoot and easily drive out? We believe we can with this pilot program. And again, it was done with the residents, with their permission. There will be an extreme amount of external noise, but we feel insulated because we did the community engagement piece first. And the residents have full information on the why, on the where, the when, and the how. This doesn't stop, though. We have to continue that residential engagement with the residents who live there. So the policing activities on Second don't stop. What we're doing around all the other criminal activity won't stop. But it's also seeding in hope, right? That this neighborhood has a lot of empty lots. We found that 33 of these lots are land bank properties. So what can we do to get them back on the tax roll, going with single family homes? Will we be able to do that in 90 days? The answer is no. I'm pragmatic and I'm realistic. But I think part of this is also seeding in hope and actually giving the residents here an opportunity to try something different that's more than just the police's job. This is public works, this is PEP, this is community development, this is land bank, this is the mayor's office, this is Birmingham Police Department, in partnership with the residents who live in this neighborhood. The last thing I would say, Mr. President and Council, because you've been very gracious with your time today, and I'm sorry that I've gone longer than I usually do, but I thought it was important to explain this program, that if it works, maybe other residents will want to do it and try it. And it's simple. We have to continue to try innovative ways to keep people safe. The most glaring thing I heard when we were going door to door is talking to a mother or talking to a grandmother who simply said that, I don't feel it's safe enough for my child or grandchild to play outside. So when you ask the why are we doing this? It's simple. I believe if we can decrease gun violence in this neighborhood, if we can decrease other criminal activity in this neighborhood, if we can stop people from freely being able to just drive in, shoot, and drive out, that ultimately we improve quality of life and we get back to something very basic and very deserving of families who live in community and neighborhoods, that their child or grandchild can simply play outside, and that is our why. So I leave you with that, Mr. President and Council, and thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you, Mayor Woodson. Council Moore?
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Mayor, I did have a statement as well as a couple of questions, maybe. First, the statement was, I'm glad that we are doing this because I know that, earlier in the year we had to vote on right-sizing parking, but it seems like, we're having to right-size our neighborhoods in a way. We have a lot of vacancies in these different neighborhoods, which is really the biggest contributor to some of this criminal activity, I feel like, because you don't have eyes on the street. You don't have people that are able to, monitor these different areas. You don't have folks that are able to, say, hey, this is the person or these are the folks that are doing this type of activity. And we need positive peer pressure. But until we can get that, blocking off these streets would be helpful. It almost seems like, too, we need to have some type of campaign to get people to move back into Birmingham and back into some of our different neighborhoods, because we just have, it's kind of a catch-22. It's like you won't move into the neighborhoods because of the different activities that are going on there, but the activity would stop if you were there, right? We've lost the neighbors out of our neighborhood, and so we just left with the hood, right? And so I definitely think that would be, something that would be beneficial. My questions, though, were, I know that this is not the first time that we've done this. I think that we've employed this same tactic in some of our public housing units, and so just wanted to kind of give you an opportunity to tell us, how did it work in those different instances?
So I want to say pre-COVID, maybe 2019, we saw an unfortunate significant increase of continued gun violence in the Gate City public housing. And it was the form and type, right? It wasn't two residents who lived there going back and forth with each other. It was people driving into Gate City, shooting and driving out. And it kept happening. In some cases, innocent children had been shot. I know in one instance, unfortunately, a little girl was shot and killed. And that came from a drive up or drive by. And then there were other instances of people driving in and shooting. And so there was this conversation between the housing authority and their security and their leadership team. There was a conversation between the mayor's office as well as the Department of Transportation. And we all sat in a room about how can we prevent people from being able to just easily drive in and shoot and drive out. And it turns out that in this very small footprint of public housing, I forgot the number of ways in and out. It was so many ways to just easily drive in and out. So it was simple. It was just decrease the amount of entry exit points and see if that will actually drop in or decrease some of the criminal activity, particularly around the ability to do a drive by or drive up. And it turns out it did. Unfortunately, I don't have the stats in front of me, but we know that there's been less gun violence in that community. It's not zero, but definitely less.
Decrease.
And then I think in 2022, it wasn't last year, but it was 22, or maybe last year, I don't remember now, forgive me, Kingston Public Housing. There were 2 high-profile shootings. They were really, really, really bad. Well, we saw where it was going, right? That it was going to keep going, whether it was retaliation or back and forth, and or people continuing to come in, whether on foot or drive by or drive up. And so we found the same way. It was all these ways to get in and out of Kingston. And so, again, we decrease some of the entry exit points in that public housing site as well, particularly around the alleys and these cuts that people can, when I say a cut, we know cuts, and we know a lot of activity go on in cuts, and they're used for escape or commit a crime, easily cut through. So they've decreased situations in both instances. And so it was a matter of, it was a question. Would this work in a single family neighborhood? Well, that's a tall order. And you had to slow walk it. So although we started the conversation with the residents in April, this is something we've been wanting to do for about 2 years, actually. So that's how we got here.
Well, I'll just say this, Mr. President and Mr. Mayor. I definitely know that it decreased things over in the Kingston area. Morel Todd is in my district, and it was definitely a decrease. If there are certain neighborhoods that, we would like to suggest to be a part of this pilot program, is that something that we could bring to you and your team? Because currently, right now, I have a neighborhood with over 300 land bank properties, and there's a lot of activity that takes place. One neighborhood, 300.
Yes, the answer is yes. And any of you have suggestions? Ideal world, Mr. President, Councilman Moore, and everyone else. The pilot works will go, I think one of the things I told this to Crystal Smitherman, I think it's been about a year, is we track the gun violence. And so one of the questions was, tell me which beat has the highest form. It's 2 something, but that's Eastlake. And then another one was in District 6, which was North Titusville area. So, but yes, more than open to suggestions. But this will not work without feedback, input, and or the residents' I guess, appetite for it. It has to be buy-in in single-family neighborhoods.
Counselor Tate?
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mayor Wolfen. Just really wanted to echo pretty much what you said when myself, in the absence of Councilor Smitherman, her staff, and Councilor Woods visit Newark on our 3-day trip that we learned of a program like what you just implemented in Eastlake. They shut the community down for like 100 days. No entry in, no entry out to stabilize the community. And, you know, we often continue to say that solving violence or decreasing violence, you cannot police your way or prosecute your way out. Community members have to get really engaged. So to know that, you know, this effort was done, I'm glad to know that people are listening, and thank you for listening. But what I also want to share as well as, you know we get a lot of people sending us emails, you know, pointing fingers saying, you know, we need to do something about crime. I have yet to find anybody to tell me how the mayor and the city council is going to solve crime when we have a permitless carry law in the state of Alabama. Lastly, I want to really thank those residents who stepped up to the plate and was able to give the Birmingham Police Department the information that they needed to solve a lot of homicides that took place over the weekend. So Connect is working. If you have not signed up for Connect, I'm gonna say this for the mayor from myself to the public. Please sign up for Connect. The mayor has told everybody, Chief Thurman has told everybody, if you have cameras, connect your cameras to Connect. Okay. Because this is how the city was able, BPD was able to gain information. And again, thank those residents who were brave enough to give BPD access to their cameras. So again, it is going to take all of us. We gotta quit playing this blame game. Everybody has to do their parts. Stabilization of a community looks like putting community back into community. Everybody has to play their part. If I pay a mortgage, I'd be damned if I'm gonna let you come on 26th Avenue North and cut up. That's not gonna go down. So I'm just saying to everybody and all people in the city of Birmingham, this is a great city. I love my city. I go hard for my city. I go hard for my 18 neighborhoods that I have been gifted to lead and be an advocate for. But in order for any crime or anything, if we want a great city, this can be a great city. But it's going to take all of us working with the mayor, the administration, and your council. It's time out for this complaining. It's time to go to work. Boots on the ground.
Mr. President, I forgot one part. And thank you, Councilor Moore. Thank you, Councilor Tate. As one of the most important parts I left out in this program is that will be a significant amount of technology and camera usage, not just from BPD, but also Department of Transportation, as well as Public Works related to various things. So when we think speeding, when we think other forms of crime, when we think illegal dumping, just all forms of illegal activity, technology, which is different from cameras, but both in combination, technology and significant camera usage will be a part of this pilot.
Thank you, Mayor Woodson. Councilor Abbott.
Before you get away, I came into the council meeting today kind of down in the dumps, and you have made my day.
Oh, Some history
East
making.
Lake,
Did y'all catch that on camera?
I don't have any of East Lake anymore, but I used to. I know Shirley Holston is up there dancing a jig, hearing that this is gonna happen in East Lake. I don't have Gate City anymore, but I used to. And people used to come out to sell me stuff when I'd show up to campaign, because I looked like I needed something. Well, I really wanted their vote. I didn't want any of that other stuff. But the fact that we're doing something, targeting an area and getting people's buy-in, the buy-in is the big part. Because if the people won't tell what's going on, if you see somebody come up with a tractor trailer rig and dump a whole bunch of mess in your neighborhood and you don't say anything and you don't get a tag number and you don't do anything, maybe you call somebody and complain, but you don't know anything and you don't give any information, like Councilor Tate said, what good's that gonna do? This is a team effort. So I just wanted you to know that you have really cheered me up today, because first East Lake, then the world. We can get the rest of the city too when we get our residents to really buy into helping do something about the problems. They're not gonna solve themselves, and if you're waiting on the police to show up, after an hour, those people are already back in whatever city they live in. Probably ours, but, another part of it. So you steal over here and then you go over there and sell it to somebody. So, thank you.
You're welcome.
Just a couple of comments. I appreciate the innovation and the willingness to, think unconventionally when it comes to addressing these types of problems. I don't need to tell people, anybody who's lived in Birmingham for any amount of time, knows that that First Avenue corridor between East Lake or between Woodlawn and Roebuck, has the issues that we're talking about have been endemic for decades. And to the best of my knowledge, this is the most significant effort that's been mounted, pretty much ever since those problems became endemic in that area to really address it in a substantive way. The other thing, I want to say that I really appreciate is that you're, this is being done in a way that also is collecting data. So utilizing technology to, like ShotSpotter, to create objective measures to identify impact, things like, tracking the amount of waste that's collected and so on and so forth. I think that type of approach where you're collecting data and tracking it and showing, change where it occurs is going to be really important moving forward, thinking about implementation in other areas. So just applaud you for that.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Councilor Moore.
I have one last thing, unrelated.
Yes, sir.
So, address 4044 41st Avenue North. 4044.
Avondale?
Huh? No, that is Inglewood. So it was brought to my attention by several residents that there are a couple of manhole covers that are uncovered. They're 4 feet deep, and we want to make sure that we get those covered back up.
Yeah, both of them have the address. We'll get DPW to investigate today.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Councilor Tate.
Mayor, just one last thing. I want to publicly thank you, Alice Williams, the whole DPW, BPD for helping me out on that situation on 26th Street North and really putting pressure on the owner to get that abandoned place cleaned up so it looks 100% better. Thank you, Mayor.
Yes. And I think you had it for years, you have it now, but we look forward to the results of what CAP on the south side can do for some of those prolonged, extended issues. Brother Bryant Park, the business district, the homeless piece, the street racing piece, which we've seen a decrease since Operation Night Rider. So I think we can talk more about that at the town hall meeting. We're inviting David Fleming about what that's going to look like. So that's that. The lady with the Airbnb, I did call her. We talked twice. I got information on that as well. Thank you.
She's got
Yeah,
a sack of bullets for you. I guess they're shells.
Counselor Smitherman.
Speaking of which, Airbnbs, where is that proposed ordinance?
We were sent a draft yesterday,
We were?
so that'll be circulated to the council today.
And the zoning meeting is this month on the 16th. That's part of a public hearing as well. So there'll be several, the draft is done.
Okay.
Right.
So I think it now becomes the public process that you all take control of, which I spoke with the resident about. You got the issues, you got them too. You definitely have them. You got them. Believe it or not, you got them too. Everybody has them. So please promote the dates, right? The 16th, I think that's one of your committees, the zoning. And then it has to come before council as well for another public hearing. So I would just say, however you control your calendar, let's do this in partnership and over-communicate to the public about these public hearings that they can come share their concern, their issue, their grievance, their wants, their desires around this drafted ordinance are related to Airbnbs and how do we make communities safer and those responsible for them do their part, where they should be, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay. And I do want to thank you, and I think that's one of the things I love about working on this council and with this mayor is the reimagining public safety. Because every community is different, because that may work for Eastlake, but it may not work for another community, but we have different things going on, like CAPS. I've seen CAPS a lot more downtown, you know, our business is downtown, and I can be walking, I see a CAPS person, I feel safe as a young Black woman there. I know if I have to get to my car by myself at night, they'll be there. I think Credible Messengers, what Councilor Tay has been working on, the hobby program, I think it's a whole big toolbox, right? It's not just the police, but I want to make sure also that if we have funding available in the next year or two, put more funding for that as well. And knowing that crime is not just, oh, I go rob your house. It's usually I have mental health issues. I need resources, re-entry programs, improve our parks, things for the youth. So I want to make sure that we also make sure that toolbox includes everything, because if we improve that, we can get more people to move back into our neighborhoods, like Councilman Moore said. Because usually 3 people look at things, and you know this, of course. You're a very intelligent mayor. They look at our parks, they look at school system, they look at crime. So if you address all 3 of those things, honestly, 2 out of 3 deal with crime, I think we can get more people back in the neighborhood, and you have been doing that. But I want to make sure that we continue to keep ourselves accountable and making sure that we get that done. Because I do think the violence has decreased in a way, because I don't think people have been breaking into cars as much downtown, I don't think anymore. But I do want to continue to encourage you as our mayor to continue to address public safety. So thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you all.
All right. All right, council, without objection, we'll suspend the rules for a presentation from Councilor Smitherman.
Hey, good morning. Thank you, Mr. President, for allowing me to do this quick presentation. But I have Mr. Troy. He is a business owner in the Titusville community. He has Modern Coffee House, which is right there by Memorial Park. But he told me he has always felt a youth baseball coach. I know we see these babies coming up, and they won is this the state championship they won, Troy? Troy, what they win? The state championship, right? The World Series, y'all.
You see, he has this nice chain on. I never got one of those when I was a kid. But I wanted to make sure that we honor them and be able to bring them up to see who we are and just kind of get their accolades because, you know, that small encouragement you get as a young boy, as a young girl, really carries that with you throughout your life. So, Troy, if you have some words you'd like to say, Coach, and then have the boys introduce themselves.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Smitherman, Councilman Smitherman. But yeah, my name is Troy Whetstone, owner of the Modern House Coffee Shop in Titusville, District 6. These guys here, this is Coach George, this is Chago, my son Peyton, and Jason Lee. Guys, we've been playing baseball since we was about 5. I think Chago was 3. They look small. You probably think they don't know real baseball, but they really do. And they traveled to Panama City, and they just won the World Series. Out of 10 teams, teams from teams from Florida, Texas, Oklahoma, Tennessee, and Alabama. And so these teams was AA and AAA teams. These teams practice 2 or 3 days a week. They practice indoors. They also practice outdoors as well. We also practice at A41, which is in the Titusville community as well. And for as our fielding, we practice at the Avondale Park. This season, we had 2 7U teams. We had a black one. We had the team white. Of course, you see there, the gear is black and white. And so for the team, the 7U black, which was our best team, we had teams literally pull out of tournaments because they saw us in it and they didn't want to face us. But we played 7 tournaments. Out of the 7 tournaments, we either placed runner-up or we won championships. And so they won 4 championships and 3 runner-ups out of all 7 tournaments that they won. They've been to Baton Rouge, Carrollton, Georgia, Florida, and in Alabama as well. So these kids here are the future. I want to give a shout out to the kids that didn't make it. So for our regular season, our roster was Peyton Whetstone, Jason Lee, Chago Fonseca, Micah Looney, Legend Morris, True Cannon, Pete, what's Pete's last name? Pete Quillen, Jonathan Morales, Kason Anderson, and what's true name? 12. Cannon Seals. And so that was our regular season team. Everybody couldn't make it to the World Series, but 5 or 6 of our regular guys was able to make it to the World Series. And that's another big thing, too, that these guys was able to accomplish, that they didn't go down there full strength. They actually went down there with half of their team. We picked up other players from the state of Texas to play with us that we played before with, and they was able to accomplish that. But that World Series rosters was Jason Lee, Chago Fonseca, Micah Looney, Carter Rogers, Peyton Whetstone, Cannon Seals, Kason Anderson, Legend Brandon, Jaden Alvarez Brown, and Cameron Cannon. And so I thank you for the time that you've given us to be able to really shout out these kids for their tremendous work. They get it tough from me and Coach George, but I think it's a great thing. Thank you so much.
Question, I'll let you go ahead and take the picture.
All right.
Yeah.
He's sporting that ring. When you get a chance, Mr. President.
Question, so first off, what does the WF stand for?
Yeah, Wow Factor. So our nonprofit is Tiger Club Baseball Academy, a 501c3, but I partner with Wow Factor, which is a national organization for travel ball. And so it just helps them. These guys here are actually getting ready to try for their national teams. So it gives them more exposure, just being able to partner with a larger group of people to help them grow their the game, but hopefully go to the next level in baseball.
Awesome. That's a cool logo. Also, I see you guys have a banner. Did you guys want to unroll that and show it to us?
Yeah, so it's also their championship banner that they got. So they got a plaque, they got the rings, and then we got the banner as well.
Yeah. Those rings are out of control.
Yeah.
Mr. President.
There you go.
Mr. President.
Councilor Moore.
Yeah, look, I have not had an opportunity to see you all play, but what was the age range again?
So this was our 7U team.
7Us?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
So now they'll be actually skipping 8 and moving up to 9U to start some real baseball.
Yeah, like I know what baseball used to be like, you know, back in the day, but like these kids on a whole nother level. Like it ain't even just the skill level, it's the IQ as well. Like these kids really know what they're doing. And so if y'all got people scared to jump on the field with y'all, like I'm kind of scared of y'all because I don't really know, you know, what y'all got going on. And the way he's sporting his ring right now, like he's just like, look, bro, I know I'm the truth. And you're going to get this work. But extremely proud of y'all. Congratulations, Mr. Troy. I don't know what you don't do. Because you got a lot of stuff that you got your hands in, and it's all excellent. And so congratulations to you. And if anybody has not been to Modern Coffee over in District 6, like, please make sure that y'all go and check it out. Got a A.G. Gaston branded coffee over there. So yeah.
Appreciate it.
Nice. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, Councilor Abbott, because I think you were in office when I used to play T-ball and softball, and so I shouldn't say that's my favorite part, but I'm glad, you know, the youth is still continuing to play baseball over there. Thank you.
All right, thank you. We'll get back to our agenda. So at this time, I'll read the statement on the conduct of business. All items designated as consent are routine and non-controversial and will be approved by one motion. All items on the consent agenda will be announced by reading the item numbers only. No separate discussion of these items will be permitted unless a council member or the mayor requests the item be removed from the consent agenda. Additionally, a citizen interested in addressing the council with respect to an item on the consent agenda designated for public hearing may request the item be removed from the consent agenda to hold the hearing on the item. Any items removed from the consent agenda will revert to its normal place on the agenda order of business. For remaining matters, all matters of permanent operation will be read and all public hearings will be announced. Mr. Clerk, could we please read through the consent agenda items?
Starts on page 2 with item 2. Page 3, we have items 3, 4, and 5 on consent. Page 4, items 6, 7, and 8 are on consent. Page 5, we have items 9, 10, 11, and 11, 12, and 13 on consent. And page 7, we have item number 18 on consent. We have 2 addendum items. Note on addendum item 19, it should just be submitted and recommended by the Public Safety Chair.
Okay. At this time, do any council members wish to add or remove items from the consent agenda?
Yes, Mr. President. Actually, I think item 1, 3, I think one more was recommended by the Budget and Finance Committee. I know item 1, sorry, yeah, item 1 and item 3 were recommended by the Budget and Finance Committee too. And then if we could put items 19 and 20 on consent. Thank you.
Okay. Councilor Abbott?
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to remove item 5 on page 3 and item 6 on page 4. Thank you. That's all.
All right. Item 5 on page 3, item 6 on page 4 have been removed from consent. Please note that there are no public hearing items on the agenda. Can we get a motion and a second for the?
Second.
Mr. Clerk, we're ready for the vote.
Since we added the addendum item, you do have one to the consent. You added the addendum item public, the liquor license.
Yes.
So you-
Okay, so, all right, so item 19 is an addendum item, and here I'll just read it. It's a resolution relative to the application of Magnolia Point Restaurant LLC for a restaurant retail liquor license to be used at Magnolia Point, 2234 Magnolia Avenue South, Birmingham, Alabama, 35205, and the hearing of all interested parties. This is a public hearing item and it's been added to the consent agenda. If any members of the public wish to speak to that item, we'll take it off of consent. Seeing none, Mr. Clerk, we're ready for the vote.
Motion, please.
It's been moved and seconded.
Who moved? Okay, Councilor Williams and
Smitherman.
All right, thanks a lot. Okay, this is for the consent agenda. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay.
All right, the consent agenda passes. Item number 1, please.
Item 1, an ordinance, repealing ordinance number 24-23, adopted by the council April the 16th, 2024, and authorized the mayor to execute an interlocal cooperation agreement in accordance with the provisions of Alabama Act 1969-916 between the city of Birmingham and the Housing Authority of Birmingham District to provide a law enforcement task force and community safety partnership related to HABD's high-intensity community-oriented police patrol program at designated HABD properties for a period of up to 2 years, beginning May the 22nd, 2024, and ending May the 21st, 2026. Unless terminated earlier by either party, HABD will provide funding to the city in an amount not to exceed $2,085,605.52 to cover personal costs, expenses, reimbursement for maintenance, fuel, and repair of vehicles. The city will provide up to 7 police officers, 1 sergeant, and 1 lieutenant to perform law enforcement function in the housing community as part of the task force. And this is an item of permanent operation. I need UC to entertain it today for passage.
Second.
Councilmember Abbott.
Aye.
Councilmember Moore. Councilmember Smitherman.
Aye.
Councilmember Tate. Councilmember Williams. Councilmember Woods. Council President Okoye.
Aye.
Second.
All right, item is before you.
All right. It's been motioned and seconded. Any discussion on this item? Seeing none, Ms. Clerk, we're ready for the vote.
All right, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay.
All right, that item is approved. Item number 5, please.
Okay, let me make sure Tate is out on that one, okay? Item 5, a resolution accepting the lump sum bid of Southeastern Seal Coating Incorporated, 1330 Adamsville Industrial Parkway, Birmingham, the amount of $1,036,942,050 for alley resurfacing citywide 2024. This being the lowest responsible and responsive bid submitted, and authorize the mayor to enter into a contract with Southeastern Seal Coating Incorporated and substantially the form contained within the bid documents in accordance with said bid, providing the total compensation payable under that contract does not exceed the appropriation. Motion, please.
I
Here's the
move
item.
approval.
Item is before you.
All right. Counselor Abbott.
Yes. Well, I'm happy to see that we're going to start paving alleys, but I wanted to know if this is going to include milling, because we have alleys now that are a foot thick because we haven't ever milled, and when people drive off the alley to try to drive onto their property, they actually fall over a cliff. So are we going to be milling down some of the largesse from the past?
Mr. President,
Yes, sir.
Councilor Abbott, I'll let the guru speak to the technical part. So if Denise Bell should be out right outside, she'll come and speak to that issue.
Good morning, Director Bill. Turn your mic on. What, need the light on the mic to come on, just,
There's a big button.
there you go.
There you go.
Yes.
Okay. I should know how to do that, right? Okay. Denise Bell, Service Director of Capital Projects Department here at the city. I don't think I heard the question.
So Councilor Abbott's question was, how is the paving going to be undertaken specifically? Will the old material, will the alleys be milled before they're paved?
Oh, some of them will be milled before they're paved. So we have a several of those alleys. So not all of them need milling, but those who do will.
Okay, so if we know of alleys that need milling, how are we going to know which alleys are going to be, are proposed to be paved so that we know whether to let y'all know? Because I don't think the city knows which alleys need milling. They've been repaving until the alley is like a foot deep in asphalt. And, when people drive off, they actually, their wheels like fall over the edge. So the residents know where the problems are, but I sincerely doubt that the city knows.
So the list comes from 311 complaints and other residents' complaints that BDOT received and turned over to Capital Projects. I can send that list again to the mayor's office that you can get by the close of business to make sure that you know those alleys.
Yeah, that would be excellent, because we got a lot of complaints about alleys, and we've been telling them that the city's not paving alleys, and so it's exciting that we are, but it would be good for each of us to know in our districts which ones are going to get treatment. And if an alley needs to be milled down where it's too thick, is that something that we would have to contract with someone separately?
If it's part of this existing project and it's needed, it would be taken care of in this project. So again, I think you probably want to see the list again, so you'll see what those streets and those alleys are.
Okay.
And you can let us know then at that time if you had
thank you.
additional concerns.
Thank you.
Council Williams has a question.
Yeah, I wanted to know what the funding source was in terms of, I know not the 00 number, because I see that, but is this inclusive in what we have previously passed in citywide street resurfacing, or what's the funding source?
So we can get you clarification on the funding source, but this is separate from resurfacing.
Okay.
Those street resurfacing, this is alleys, so we can get that funding source.
Okay, because on this year's budget, we did not vote on any alley resurfacing, because that is what I'm very hawkish about, is resurfacing streets, alleys, and sidewalks. So I'm confused about the funding source and where this came up. And I actually kind of would like an answer before we vote.
Okay.
I had the same questions.
We'll walk that down.
All right.
And can we get the list, Mr. President? Because I want to know which alleys they're paving to. Because I know I have quite a few alleys that are super bumpy that we've been telling people, like what Council Abbott said, that we weren't paving.
We've been told that actually to date, since I've been on this council, I've been told that we absolutely will not resurface an alley. So this is, it's a pleasant surprise, but we don't have any details on what's going on here.
That's more like an administrative question, too.
So,
We'll find out.
Yes, I would recommend that we table this item and go ahead and move on to other items while they're gathering the list and getting information about the funding source.
All right, so moved.
Second.
All right.
All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay.
That item is tabled, so item 6, please.
Item 6, a resolution accepting and approving the bid of Charter Communications Operating LLC, St. Louis, Missouri, for cable TV services, high-speed cable internet service as needed at the unit price on file in the office of the purchasing agent for a period of 3 years for the Information Management Services Department. This being lowest bid submitted, I provide the mayor to execute any necessary documents on behalf of the city. Motion, please.
I move approval.
Second.
Item is before you.
All right. Councilor Abbott.
Yes. Usually I just let the cable go on by, but this time I noticed it was a negotiated agreement. And so I was looking at it and I read the bid tabulation, which makes it sound like we pay $4,223 a year, and that couldn't be right, I don't think. And then there were a whole bunch of attachments of how much we're paying monthly at all of our different locations. And so when I finished looking at it, I had no idea what we spend on cable in a year. So does anyone know?
My name is Darrell Burrows. I serve the city of Birmingham as the interim CIO. I
Can you
don't have.
pull the mic up, please?
Yes, sir.
There you go.
I don't have the exact figure, but that's something we could provide to you.
Okay. Well, it's not an emergency, but I would like to know, because reading the backup information, you really can't tell much of anything. You know, it says unit prices, and I was just wondering what all this cable service that we have costs
Yes, ma'am.
annually. So I think possibly all the council would like to know at the same time, so maybe we could just receive an email or something.
Yes, ma'am. We can do that.
Okay, thank you.
Right.
That's all, I just wanted to know what we're spending on cable, and I couldn't tell from the backup.
Council Williams?
Yeah, I have a question. Based on Ms. Abbott's research, I'm confused. Was this not bid on? This was a negotiated agreement and not bid on?
No, it was bid.
Well,
So-
no, it was negotiated. It says here it's negotiated.
Well, the summary says accepting and approving the bid of Charter Communications, so maybe we need some
Well, I guess it's a
clarity.
negotiated bid. Because, well, I'm just looking at it, okay, the backup.
No, that's my question, like, you know,
Well, it says
did
original
Verizon
and
bid?
negotiated.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that negotiated means we negotiated with them. And that's how we got this new pricing. But, you know, then when you just look at what we've been provided to understand what we're voting on, I didn't understand it. But I wanted to. So that was all. I just wanted to know in the end, what are we paying for all this cable TV and other services that we're getting?
An additional question, and maybe perhaps the city attorney's office can answer, would be, this just pertains to cable and internet service for the city of Birmingham. It does not include any licensing for cable and internet service for residents of Birmingham.
We'll get you an answer on all of that. We'll send it
Okay.
via email.
Yeah,
Motion we table this till we can get an answer on that. 'Cause
Okay.
how do we know, like, if Verizon didn't say
Second.
you know?
so did you second?
Yes. Second.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second to table. Go ahead.
All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay.
All right, item 6 is tabled, and so I believe our next item is item number 14.
Can you give me 1 second to put that one on the table?
Mr. President?
President O'Quinn, I have an, I have an answer on the first question. So the agreement was negotiated after the bid, and I'll get an answer on the second one.
Yeah, so just in response to the second question, I believe that's what you're referring to is the franchise agreement. So that's, yeah,
I just received the answer, city facilities only.
Motion to take up that item again.
Second.
All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, item is back before you.
All right, so this is item number 6 regarding the bid for Charter Communications.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Which, you already had one, but that's fine. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay.
All right, item 6 is approved. Item number 14, please.
All right. Item 14, a resolution setting a public hearing August the 6th, 2021 to consider, 2024, to consider adoption of an ordinance to amend the City of Birmingham zoning ordinance Title I, General Provisions. Proposed amendments to the zoning ordinance to include: 1, the addition of new zoning district, urban neighborhood. 2, new definitions. 3, the addition of building standard requirements for all structures within designated character districts. Revisions to the district, forward revision to the district area and dimensional requirements. 6, amend uses and new additions to the permitted uses table. And 7, amended land development standards. Filed by the Department of Planning and Permits, case number ZAC 2023-14.
All right, move the item.
Second.
Okay.
All right, you need discussion. We're ready for the vote.
Okay, 1 second. Councilor Smith, 1 second. Okay, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay.
That item passes. Item number 15, please.
Item 15, a resolution setting a public hearing August the 6th, 2024, to consider the adoption of an ordinance to amend the zoning district map of the city of Birmingham, case number ZAC 2024-2, to change zone district boundaries from D2, single family district, to QC2, qualified general commercial district, filed by Carl Christian, the owner for the property located at 331 Robinson Drive and situated in this section 36, quarter, section 3, Township 16, Range 2 West, Birmingham. Motion, please. The item is before you. Councilor Williams.
Did we get a motion in a second?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any discussion? Then we're ready for the vote.
All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay.
All right, that item passes. Item number 16, please.
Okay. Item 16, a resolution setting a public hearing August 13th, 2024, to consider the adoption of an ordinance to amend the zoning district map of the city of Birmingham, case number ZSC 2024-3, to change zone district boundaries from I3 Plan Manufacturing District to PRD Plan Recreational District, filed by Ray Roll in the city of Birmingham for the property located at 5955 Barbara Motorsports Parkway and 969 Rex Lake Road, and situated in the section 36, quarter, section 3, Township 16, Range 2 West, 35094, and section 26, quarter, section 1, Township 17, Range 1 West, Birmingham. Motion, please.
Second.
Okay, item is before you.
All right, it's been motioned and seconded. We're ready for the vote.
Okay, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay.
That motion passes. Item number 17, please.
Item 17, a resolution setting a public hearing August the 13th, 2024, to consider the adoption of ordinance to amend the zoning district map of the city of Birmingham, case number ZAC 2024-4, to change zone district boundaries from QB1 Neighborhood Business District to QB1 Neighborhood Business District, filed by Judy Zayden, in order to remove and add Q conditions from a previously approved rezoning case number ZAC 2007-7, for the property located 2101 Green Springs Highway and situated in section 11, a quarter, section of 3, Township 18, Range 3 West, Birmingham. Motion, please.
I move approval.
Item is before you.
All right, it's been motioned and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, we're ready for the vote.
All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay.
All right, that item passes. I've been informed that item 5 is being withdrawn by the administration. So,
We need to get it back before us and then withdraw.
okay, so
Untable it.
motion to reconsider or take item 5 off the table.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay.
All right.
All right.
Again, the administration's withdrawing item 5.
I'd like an explanation of why.
Because we're gonna be bringing the information back to explain the resurfacing and the alley portion of it based on the funding sources. So the council, the staff wants to be able to update the council with that.
Okay, did this go to a committee prior to getting here?
It's a bid, sort of.
Or a negotiated item? All right, thank you.
Good. All right.
So,
Okay. That's trying to make sure. Okay. At this time, we'll have new and old business. Attorney King.
Yes, I would like to recommend going into an executive session pursuant to the Alabama Open Meetings Act, Alabama Code 1975, Section 3625A73, to discuss legal ramifications and legal options for pending litigation.
So we have a motion to go to,
So move.
Councilmember Abbott,
Aye.
Councilmember Moore, Councilmember Smitherman,
Aye.
Councilmember Tate, Councilmember Williams, Council President O'Quinn.
all right, so we'll go into executive session and we'll reconvene at the call of the chair. Thank you. All right, we're back. Mr. Clerk, could we please have the roll call?
Yes, sir. Councilmember Abbott. Councilmember Smithman.
Here.
Councilmember Tate.
Here.
Councilmember Williams.
Here.
Council President O'Quinn.
Present. Okay, council, after.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say Woods? No. My bad. Councilmember Woods, I didn't see that. I got you.
All right. Okay, after conferring with the Office of the City Attorney, I would like to make a recommendation that we have a unanimous consent vote to consider the recommendations of the Office of the City Attorney pertaining to ordinance 24-15 to amend that ordinance, which is related to the moratorium on automated car washes, and to consider setting a public hearing for July 30th relative to that ordinance.
Second.
All right, so there's our motion and second for unanimous consent.
Councilmember Abbott.
Aye.
Councilmember Smithman.
Aye.
Councilmember Tate.
Aye.
Councilmember Williams.
Aye.
Councilmember Woods. President O'Quinn.
Aye. All right, so at this time, I'll make a motion to actually set the public hearing for July 30th on the issue of amending ordinance 24-15.
Second.
All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay.
All right, so that item passes. Next up on our agenda, we have district announcements. Councilor Abbott, are you ready?
Am I ready?
Okay, Councilor Smith, and we'll come
Okay,
back
I'm
to
ready.
you.
Oh, yeah, okay.
All right.
I was not expecting that. Okay, we have, the next Planning and Zoning Committee meeting is scheduled for tomorrow, Wednesday, July 10th at 3:30 p.m. here in the council chambers. We have 2 openings on the Zoning Board of Adjustment, one for a construction-type contractor and one for a supernumerary. Deadline for submissions is July 17th. Please submit your resumes to valerie.abbott@birminghamal.gov. Neighborhood meetings tonight, we have East Avondale, which will meet by conference call, and the Highland Park Neighborhood Association meeting has been canceled for this evening. If you have any concerns or issues, we are encouraging everyone to either call 311 or download the My BHAM 311 app so that you can send photographs of your issue. And anyone who is interested can go to the District 3 website at www.bhamdistrict3.com, and we will have the public hearing posted for the short-term rentals very quickly. Thank you, Mr. President.
All right, Councilor Smithman.
Thank you, Mr. President. As far as neighborhood meetings, tonight we have South Titusville neighborhood meeting will meet at 5:30 p.m. at Holy Family High School. Arlington West End neighborhood will meet today at 6 p.m. at the West End Library. The next Budget and Finance meeting will be on Monday, July 22nd at 3:30 p.m. in the council chambers. Submissions are due next Wednesday, July 17th by noon. As the mayor has already stated, we will have the District 6 Town Hall meeting this Thursday at 6 p.m. at 6th Avenue Baptist Church Fellowship Hall. That's located at 1101 Martin Luther King Jr. Drive, 35211. The Birmingham Squadron will have a Dunks and Dimes basketball camp for the youth that's being hosted by April 1 on Monday, July 15th from 9 to 3 p.m. and is being hosted at April 1 in North Titusville.
And then the District 6, we will have our July Farmers Market this Saturday, July 13th, from 1:30 to 3:30 at Memorial Park. We will have fresh fruits, vegetables, breads, and honey jams, and there will be $5 vouchers for the first 25 people who come, and then we'll have more giveaways for the August one. And then, Mr. President, I went to the Farmers Market in Pepper Place, one of my favorite places to go on Saturday mornings. It was so nice. I almost texted you, told me to join me. But y'all should go out there. It was great. It's in my office. The best peach y'all could ever eat. I love peaches. It was juicy and it was good, but I always love going to farmers market and supporting locally. So, okay. Well, thank you, Mr. President.
All right, great. Council Williams.
Thank you, Mr. President. Roebuck Springs will be having their regularly scheduled neighborhood meeting Thursday, July the 11th at 7 o'clock at their regular place, New Beginning Church, and that is all I have.
Thank you. Councilor Tate.
Thank you, Mr. President. Sandusky neighborhood meeting will be held tonight at 6 p.m. Next conference call, you can dial in by calling 319-527-9642. North Pratt neighborhood meeting is canceled tonight. Oak Ridge neighborhood meeting will meet on Thursday, July the 11th at 4 p.m. And that's also a conference call. You can dial in at 952-206-4918. The access code is 223418. Hooper City neighborhood will be meeting on Thursday, July the 11th at 6 p.m. at the Hooper City Recreation Center. The Olivet Monumental Baptist Church is having their 2024 Free Youth Explosion and Conference and Health Fair, and that's this Saturday, July the 13th. And you can enjoy free food, games, carnival rides, entertainment, music, health screening for ages 4 and up. So all residents are welcome to enjoy this day of fun and fellowship. And that's Pastor Harold Bass Church in North Birmingham on 33rd Avenue, the Olivet Monumental Baptist Church. The next public safety meeting will be held on Tuesday, July the 23rd at 1 p.m. in the council chamber. Please submit agenda items by email Wednesday, July the 17th, no later than 12 noon to patrice.collins@birminghamal.gov, and that's gregory.stanley@birminghamal.gov. Thank you, Mr. President.
All right, thank you. Councilor Woods.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Mr. President. The Kilo Springs Neighborhood Association meeting scheduled for tonight is canceled. The Echo Highlands neighborhood will meet on Thursday, July 11th at 7 p.m. via Zoom. And lastly, the Workforce Development Committee meeting scheduled for Monday, July 15th is canceled. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And for District 5, the East Avondale Neighborhood Association will meet tonight at 6 p.m. via conference call. Please call our office at 205-254-2679 for additional information. The Smithfield Neighborhood Association will meet Thursday, July 11th at 6 p.m. at Smithfield Court Community Center. The Wahoma Neighborhood Association will be meeting this Thursday, July 11th at 6 p.m. at the Birmingham Museum of Flight. This is a rescheduled meeting from the normally scheduled first Thursday monthly meeting because of last week's holiday. The Transportation Committee will meet on Monday, July 22nd at 2 p.m. in council chambers. Items can be submitted to the agenda by emailing kimberly.phillips@birminghamal.gov. The 2024 East Lake Farmers Market, sponsored by Pier Inc., takes place every Saturday from 8 a.m. to noon at the East Lake United Methodist Church, located at 7753 First Avenue South, and that runs through October 12th. And as
I think that's sponsored by Pier Inc. in District 2. That's where Pier gets the funding for it.
duly noted, Councilor Williams. Thank you for your support.
And thank you for the peach.
And in addition to the East Lake Farmers Market, as Councilor Smitherman already noted, the market at Pepper Place takes place also every Saturday, rain or shine, 7 a.m. to noon at Pepper Place, which is 2829 2nd Avenue South, and that runs through December 14th. That concludes our announcements. This time, we're ready for our public speakers. Mr. Clerk.
Miranda Coleman.
Good afternoon, Ms. Coleman. Please remember to state your address, and you'll have 3 minutes, and it's on the clock up there. Just hit one of those buttons until the light, yeah, there
Okay.
you go.
My name is Mrs. Miranda Coleman. My address is 3146 43rd Avenue North, Unit 62, Birmingham, Alabama 35207. And I'm here coming from the North Birmingham community to speak about a lot of problems that we're facing out in our community because we are a low-income based living housing. Number one, we have been put in a place where I guess we are a gated community also. And the gates are not being properly enforced. And we only have one way in and one way out. And that is dangerous because we have people such as myself that are having different health challenges and disabled. And we have a lot of elderly people in our community also. And with the bus not being able to come into our gates because of the structure that they got us living in, because they don't want to be responsible, they say, for the buses if they get damaged, because the arms have to come up and down. But since that time, since they've been put in place, they now have welded up the gates where we have a one-way entrance. And I'm saying, so if you're going to serve us and we need transportation to get to our doctors and to go to the grocery stores or whatever we have to do, how are we going to do that if you got to stand outside of the gate and our housing communities is so large? It's probably like, it's supposed to house at least, 500 people. And it's presently now probably 300 of us that actually living there. Now, if you got elderly people that's living in the middle section and you got one way in and one way out with one gate open, what if a crisis happens where somebody gets disabled or gets sick or injured? They can't even get in there. They got to take 3 or 5 minutes to come all the way around by our rental office just to come in to aid someone. So that is not good. So that's one of our problems that we face. Another problem we are facing as far as transportation for our kids getting to Carver High School. Now, along with our apartment, North Birmingham Homes, there is Collegeville. Now, these kids have to walk from Collegeville all the way up across 31 Highway. They got to go through an underpass. They got to cross that highway just to get to Carver High School. Now, they got transit bus, but like I said, it's a low-income housing. These people don't have bus passes to go and buy and purchase for their kids to get to school. So if they walk into school, that means they're going to miss a lot of days because when the weather inclined, they're going to miss it because if it's raining or storming, well, maybe they go to school, maybe they won't. So, and then if they coming up for graduation, how they going to graduate if they Ferndale out of school? So that's another thing that we face. And we've been dealing with this for years with the transportation as far as getting buses for those communities. Now, as far as Hudson, the elementary school, they have buses. They got a 7 o'clock bus and I think a 7:30 bus to come pick them up. But that's understandable because they're small age kids. Now, we had a school that's in the back of us, which is Riggins Elementary School, that got closed down. What reason, I don't know. But they closed the school down. So our kids have to be bused to Hudson, but they made sure that the smaller kids get bused, but not the high school students. So we facing that. And another thing we are facing is we got a lot of people that have left the community because it's supposed to house 500 people. Okay, we got 300 people living, but y'all leaving the vacant apartments unlocked. So that's another problem. We, at the last meeting we had for our panel of people that we have that help us, the president, the vice president, and the secretary, we found a dead body. The kids found a dead body in a vacant apartment that had been there so long that had modified, and it was a female. We don't know what happened because of this problem. Now, we found this out just last year. So now, instead of I know I went to the office complaining about it. Why we got vacant apartments where when people move out, y'all ain't got enough people hired. Even if you don't to clean them out, you still should have them locked up. Because we got small kids there. Anybody can walk off the street
and come in there and live in a vacant apartment. We wouldn't even know they staying there. It's the same thing outside of our community, which is the Fairmont area. They got houses that are collaborated houses. We got a house right over there right now on the main drag where a whole tree fell the last time we had a storm on a whole home. You got other empty houses that people can set on fire that people are living in. That make it more, we are already gated in now, blocked in now, so we trapped. A pedophile, most people know when people get out of jail, the first place they go to these 15 project home areas where low-income people such as myself reside at. And if they can come there and they're not getting caught at property, and we got gates that taxpayers just paid money to get put up, and it's not being ran and now it's cut off that help to keep our crime, you helping to house crime.
Ms. Coleman, so your time is up. I wanted to ask a question. So, this is the North Birmingham HABD property, right? And so they have restricted access to that community. Which street is it? Is it 44th?
It's 43rd Avenue is where, that's the entrance to our apartment. And that's the exit also. It used to come from 43rd all the way to 41st Court for you to exit out. But we had 3 or 4 different entrances, but they closed them off because people was running from the police, and that's why they put the gates in there in the first place, and that makes sense. But it didn't make sense to cut it off to just one way in and one way out, and you only have one guard that may be there that's not really doing the job of aiding to make sure that people are coming there that can be held accountable for whoever tenant house that they're coming to, that can come in there and do something and leave from out of there. They can just walk in the gate and do something and leave.
Okay, thank you. For Council Williams.
Ma'am, have you brought this to HABD? I'm curious why you're bringing it to the council.
Yes, we have, and I came down here to support our president, who's probably gonna come up after me, to let her know this is what we have to do. When we can't get infrastructure from our own panel, this is what you have to do. You have to come to the council and let them know.
Yeah, so.
So I guess she's coming up next, but yes, we have tried to do that. And we just had, I think it was JT Morris supposed to be coming out, when it was June, when is June 20th? Last month, but we had to cancel it because they didn't have a proper place for us to meet to have a meeting. So it's like you're inside being, prison, and then when you're trying to get your voice heard, you still getting cut off because they have to sponsor us a place to have these meetings. And right now, our center that we use for our youth is up because it's summertime and they have to have their camp and a free lunch program. But see, we got a great big old gymnasium that we use to have special guests like people that are mentors, the mayor, or either some of you people can come. We can have to come out to talk to our people to share our own information. But unfortunately, for some reason, I don't even know why that building wasn't used. I don't know. I'm just a resident, just coming to support the president.
I hear you. All right, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Ms. Nose, please tell me. You gave me permission.
All right.
All right,
Yes.
You're good to go. Please state
Good
your name.
afternoon. My name is Nose Aman Idemudia. My address is 3144 43rd Avenue North, Birmingham, Alabama 35207. I'm finna speak on the same instances that she was speaking on.
Please speak into the mic. It's hard for us to hear you.
Okay. About the transportation for us, the buses, Carver High School, because I have a high school son, and the bus come for take them to Hudson and pick them up. Why it can't be a bus to take them to Carver? Because there's a distance, and if you don't have a ride, then how do they get? They be walking, and the trash in the community for us, the dumpsters too. They be leaving them dumpsters. Trash be everywhere, and I pick it up I put on gloves and pick it up, and just me can't do it. It's gonna take the whole community. They don't listen. I done went to the office about it. We have talked to HABD downtown too. Everything we're bringing here, we brought it to them before. And we have a resident council building, but the air doesn't work. So I can't have a meeting if the air doesn't work in there. Because my elderly people, we're going to fall out together. So I can't have a meeting where it's not accommodating us. It's too hot to have a meeting in a closed up building. And there's burglar bars on it, so I can't get no air conditioners put in. I mean, everything I try to do, I get shot down, so I don't even know what else to do besides come downtown.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Phyllis Shepherd. Phyllis Shepherd. Pamela Robinson. Ian Wasserman. Mr. Wasserman.
No,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Ms. Robinson is coming.
To the mayor's chief of staff, council members, and other members of this governing body. My name is Pamela Robinson, 437 West Chester Drive, 35215. My husband and I are one of the original Black residents who moved to the Apple Valley neighborhood before white flight. Now residents are mostly replaced with those who are renting properties. We were there when a violation was obvious and the beat officer on the spot took actions to enforce the city ordinances. We were there when we saw neighbors taking pride in their neighborhood. Well, those days are over. We are told by the city, when you see something, say something. As a neighborhood officer, when receiving concerns from householders, such as parking in the yard, which is prohibited, I should say something as directed and reported. Friday, July 5th, sounds of firecrackers were heard up and down and around Westchester Drive. A neighbor within close range of my property was placing what appeared to be a cannon rocket firecracker in the middle of the street. 2 or 3 went off, and I asked the neighbor to not do that. Not only was it illegal, when the firework exploded, the sparks were shooting in front of my yard. One word led to another. When the neighbor said, and this is why I'm here today, when the neighbor said, "You are the one," the police said, "Call to report us parking in our yard." Go call the police about the firecrackers. Are you going to tell on the others too? When a citizen sees something and says something, why are police officers telling those who are blatantly in violation of city laws the name of the person who reported the violation? In retaliation, a target is put on one's back when your officers are putting concerned citizens who take pride in their neighborhood in harm's way. Think about it, and I wanted the mayor to think about it. This may be an explanation, the explanation, as to why people don't say something when they see something.
Thank you, Ms. Robinson. Next speaker.
Hi. Hello, councilmen, councilwomen. My name is Yannick Wasserman. I live at 1220 33rd Street South, 35205. I come here for a second time to speak about the ceasefire resolution in Gaza. I just want to remind you all of the urgency of this measure. I don't want to belabor the point. My brothers and sisters in arms, my Palestinian sisters and brothers and comrades, my Israeli, my Jewish friends, comrades, brothers, sisters have all been coming here to remind you of the urgency of this issue. I know everybody's blood sugar is probably dropping, so I will be really quick in my comments right now. But since I last spoke, which was about 6 weeks ago, there have been another 6,000 deaths in Gaza. Many of those are, of course, women and children. This is an urgent matter, of course, for international diplomacy, but I also can't stress enough how much it matters on the local level, too. It matters because this is a symbol that American citizens are paying attention to how our international diplomacy is being practiced supposedly in our name. And the more cities, and there are now hundreds of municipalities around the country that have signed off on such a resolution, the more municipalities that get behind this, the clearer the message is to politicians, Democrat, Republican, Independent, what have you, that we're not going to stand anymore for this kind of status quo of military aggression and war crimes and crimes against humanity, especially when we are complicit in it. So I know that you all are working on this. I know there's a resolution that is being circulated. I just want to urge with all urgency that this actually gets brought forward and gets finally passed. Thank you, everybody, for your attention and your time today. I hope you have a nice afternoon.
Thank you. Next speaker.
It's Mr. Williams, or how we did speak last week, so that's up to the council.
Mr. President, that oversight is on us, but if you will, suspend the rules to allow him to speak because he's waited.
A motion to suspend the rules to allow the speaker, Mr. Williams, to speak.
Second.
Aye.
Thank you again. Barry Williams, 8501 Richard Drive, Pinson, Alabama. And this is concerning, the watermelon, the Jones Valley Watermelon Festival. I want to first of all iterate the fact that we're talking about the metro area when we talk about Jones Valley. It is at one time historically known as Long Valley. It's a 100-mile stretch. So what we're hoping to incorporate is an inclusive commerce system to where we are developing as a community. It's one community. We have a history in Jones Valley of being exclusive. And we have to eliminate that. And so what we're doing is we're incorporating a walk, a prayer walk, to where we are asking 1,000 churches in this area to come together so that we can inclusively start talking about the fact that what we need to start doing in order to eliminate poverty in our community, which then brings forth social violence, food deserts, miseducation. And so we're hoping that in the Jones Valley Watermelon and Okra Festival, that we as a family will come together and we're just going to enjoy ourselves, and we're going to find out what it really means to be a friend and to be a neighbor, regardless of who you are, regardless of your situation, your circumstance. This is dire for us, and we're inviting each of you to also come during the 10 o'clock hour and have an opportunity to talk about the strategy of peace that we as a community need to that we can operate in. We have invited the mayors, some of also the county commissioners. So we're inviting you also to come out during that time. We had a situation happen also. As you know, that we're going through a drought at this time, heat drought. And many of the watermelons that we have raised in McIntosh, Alabama, were ruined because of the heat. And so we're going to ask the council, if it's possible, if you might be able to assist us in purchasing some watermelons that we can provide for the citizens of your district. So I'm just again, here to get that, hopefully to get that situation situated, and hoping that you can also assist us in doing that.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Williams.
Thank you again.
All right, that brings us to the end of our agenda.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Say the police. The police, I'm good.
Oh, yes. And thank you to Officer Stamps and Jackson for being here this morning, or into the afternoon as well.
Year 3 of the District 6 Farmers Market. We have about 10 vendors out here. We have watermelon, we have string beans, red potatoes, onions, collard greens, peaches, plums, anything you can think of. And then we have local businesses as well, so you can get a hot dog, a hamburger, vegan food, dessert, anything you can think of, we have it here. Over 70% of Birmingham is in a food desert, which meaning that majority of our residents are food insecure, and so it really just means a lot to be able to give them fresh, affordable produce as well, especially with like the cucumbers. You know, they got recalled in grocery stores in Alabama, but you can come to the farmer's market and get cucumbers, continue to eat healthy, and be able to make sure that you are safe eating them as well. So I'm happy to be out here and seeing all these people here as well. So really just making sure to support the quality of life for all of my residents. And so because we have all forms of payment here, you don't have to worry about, do I have cash? Do they take it? Yes. Do they have an EBT card? Yes, we will take that. What about Cash App? Yeah, we take that. We take TAP as well. I think there's like a farmer's market card as well. So making sure to eliminate those burdens of financial barrier as well with this farmer's market.